Okay. The very next colony that I looked at, I opened it up, and it's small. There's not that many frames of bees. And I started to just give them a pollen patty, but listen to them roar. You hear that? So I started looking for brood. There is not a brood, there's not egg, there is no queen in this colony, or they may have tried to make a queen late last fall, and they failed, or she's in there as a virgin. Not sure, but this colony right here, half of this box is full of honey. It's a wonder they haven't been robbed out. But there's no brood in this at all, not even any older brood. There's nothing. So this colony is going to have to be combined with one of the other colonies. I think I'm going to wait until Monday because I have a screen that I can put here, because this colony's been queenless for so long that they may kill the queen in the other box if I just put this on another box, which I could do. I've done before, and you just move on. But given the time of year it is, they may be very happy they got a queen. They may be very sad they have a queen. I just don't know how they're going to respond. So the box is no good. I'm halfway tempted to just put some newspaper. This colony next door is doing okay. I put two layers of newspaper down. And the only difficulty with that is if there's a virgin in there somewhere, she could kill my queen. Let me look through here one more time. They're not agitated, and that's good, because that's sometimes a situation with queenless colonies, is they get annoyed. But I am not seeing, also not seeing any really fresh pollen. There is some yellow pollen in there, and it could be that they came through the winter with a queen, but she just didn't have the wherewithal to get the nest going. There's a queen cup there that kind of looks polished. What I'm wondering, there's a drone there. I don't see a queen. I already know there's no eggs or larvae, but that roar is what got my attention first. It's understandable if you put some smoke in there and they roar, but they shouldn't just keep roaring. And they do have a number of queen cups. It could be that she was a drone laying when we came out of the spring, we came out of winter, and they only got a couple of drones out of her, and I don't know. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want this colony to be robbed out. I have winter bees that made it all the way through the winter. If they had a queen right now, they would go to work. They're bringing some pollen in, which usually is a sign that they think they're going to raise brood. But I don't see a queen. I don't see a virgin queen. There's not an egg. This is the frame with the most bees on it. The next one has quite a few. This one's starting to get into honey. if you're looking for the queen, the quickest way I find them is holding the frame kind of at a 45-degree angle to the ground, and then I can look down it diagonally. Got me. That's my second sting for today. I put my finger on her, so it's not even her fault. In this cluster, there should be an egg somewhere if there's a queen. See, that's the end of that. There's nothing anywhere else. I think I am going to take this box and put it on top of the neighbor. This frame here has, check that out. It looks like cat brood that's dead. Sorry. No, that's honey. That's all honey. Okay. I'm just gonna consolidate them. No, I'm gonna wait and bring a screen back and just put, and I have a framed screen, just single layer. That lets the bees touch one another, pass the pheromones, get used to one another. And I'll put that between the two boxes, give it the upper box an entrance, the lower box an entrance, and let them get used to one another for a week, then combine them. Because if I don't do that, this colony is just going to die. They don't have enough bees to survive. And so I can use the resources, the honey and the bees, to help another queen take off and get a good start. So there's no need to put pollen or anything on here. They have plenty of honey. I will just mark this by standing the brick straight up and down, and that will tell me it's got a queen issue. That's how I mark boxes with queen issues. All right, we're gonna check on this colony right here. When I was here on Friday, I noticed that they were very weak. They really didn't need 2 boxes on this colony. That there were a couple frames of bees up on this side, a couple frames of bees down here on this side, but they really could be consolidated. See, they're still working. That's great. I'm going to do a quick check. I'm going to consolidate. I believe I'm going to consolidate everything in the bottom box and take this box off, put a screen on, bring that land worker colony and put it on here, and then give them an upper entrance so that they can get in and out while they get acclimated to one another. So let me get my screen, and I hope this is wide enough. I do have 2 of them, but may or may not be, but we'll see. All right, so again, I mentioned on the video the other day that I prefer not to wear jackets and veils. My eyes just aren't that great, and I've got these glasses and I can't see through them very well. So one other thing that I'm noticing here with this, notice I have this double bubble wrap here, and notice I pulled that off and there's ants up in here. They weren't here on Friday, but they're here now. And ants love the opportunity to get up in these things. And so this is one thing on the farms that I do not like double bubble for. It's a great idea. I like the concept, but the ants like it more than I like it. So, you know, the good thing is they're not actually in the bee nest, but I've got dry sugar up here, so that's probably what's attracting them. All right. All right, so we're going to set this off for now. I have to put this lid on the ground here so that I can work this box. They really are consuming that pollen patty. I just gave them half a patty and split it into 2/4 is what I did. And looks slightly better today than they did the other day. But there was brood. I did see brood the other day. So I knew they had some brood in here. Way over here where there's not many bees working. And shake those off. Lay them aside. I smell something. Something a little funky in there. Sometimes I've had colonies over winter that a mouse got in there, and then they actually killed the mouse. Actually, that's quite heavy. All right, so they have quite a bit of honey. Quite a bit of honey in here. Let's push these over to the other side. If there's a nest in this box, I will probably center it or get it closer to center with honey on each side of it. But I'm wondering, so far I'm not seeing any brood in the bottom box. I saw brood in the top box the other day, working that dead nettle. The other day I was seeing that dead nettle pollen, but it was on their foreheads. Okay, there is a bunch of brood here in this corner. Young brood, very young brood. Both sides. Okay, this is honey here. Those two are honey. Okay, so look out, girl. Okay, so honey. Now, I think there's just 2 frames, but we're gonna get in there. I didn't see the queen on that. Obviously there is a queen because there's brood there. Those over. Squid anybody like I just probably did. All right, I don't think you can see what I'm doing here, but look through this. That's these frames are empty on this other box. As good as they're working that, I might. All right. So let's take this frame out because I really want to center the nest. Take this out. I want to look and make sure if there's any brood. And they got pollen on there. Put pollen there. So I'm going to leave the pollen close to where the brood's going to be. Take this frame with some honey. I'm going to put it here. Hopefully. All right, this one's eggs. And there's my queen. So we'll put her in here. Now we know she's okay. I think I'm going to have an extra frame because she was on what I would. These other two are probably brood. Pretty sure. This one is a. Look at that nice frame of brood. She's starting small. Both sides are like that. So they're gonna be quite a bit bigger in a week or so. Once that brood hatches out, I'm gonna take this frame out. This side's empty. There's a little bit of honey on that side, but I'm saying that. I'm looking here, and this. They're storing pollen. They're fixing this frame. This was an older frame. All right, I think that's going to have that. Always center your frames. All right, and I'm going to. Now, the good thing, they have plenty of honey there. So I don't have to worry about feeding them for their size. They're plenty big. But I am going to stick a little bit more pollen patty in there. And what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to shake all these bees that are in this box into that box. There, they've got some fresh nectar coming in. Okay. So there's another frame that has some thing, shaking these bees. The good thing is I've already found my queen, and she is already in the box, so I don't have to worry about her so much as I work through this. Chickens are coming to check on me. All these frames are empty. All right, so now I've got an empty box. I'm just gonna take this up here. And then set this aside, and I'll put all those back in. I'm gonna take this screen, move that over a little bit. It's more in the center. This screen is just almost not big enough. All right, but what I'm going to do, let's just set this here so that doesn't blow away. All right, and I'm going to go check on this other colony that didn't have a queen. So we'll go over here together. This one, when I take this box away, there's going to be some foragers out, and they will likely go right next door into that box. And because they'll probably have pollen or nectar or something, those bees won't mind having a little bit of extra foragers. But this box of bees will be a help to that smaller colony as they, after I combine them together. Now I want to make sure that the queen's not here before I stick them together. So this was a full box of honey. They hadn't hardly used any of their honey here. So, I'm going to, but I mentioned the roar the other day. They're still roaring. So I suspect there's not any brood in this box. This box that they're in isn't really great. Okay, nothing there. Some older pollen. I see some drones. I don't see. Yeah, they're roaring. I'm pretty sure these are queenless. So I think what I'll probably do is move this one frame at a time into that other box, because this box is about to fall apart. You see, I've got these glasses that are called progressives. I call them regressives because I can't see a thing through them. And if I had a veil on and trying to look through these glasses, I would consider myself blind. These girls have nothing. This box is made out of subflooring. Contractors use it for subflooring. It's called Advantech. And it's pretty good stuff. These boxes have lasted me several years. There's some sunshine. Yeah, there's no brood, no eggs. And I'm going to set that other box on there. And all right, I'm going to look for a virgin queen or a queen that has maybe lost her semen ineffective. If I see her, then I'll go ahead and eliminate her. There's several queen cups on here that they had built. See them there. White, large, fat queen cups. And there's some on several of these. I really suspect that they lost their queen some time ago, and they obviously couldn't build one in the late fall or winter. Kind of looks like there was one there that they were starting to build, and maybe a drone layer laid in that, perhaps. I don't see any eggs. That's a good thing, actually, because if there were any eggs at all, they would probably be infertile from a drone layer. You know, some might say there is no wrong way to keep bees. I suspect there is. You know, there some things. Yeah, there are probably things that work somewhere, but not most places. So maybe no matter what you choose, you could get away with it somewhere. But there are certainly things that work better than others in some places. And those things might work fine somewhere else, but anyway, I would just say that to me, smoke is very, very effective. And when I find a much more aggressive, unfriendly colony, which we had one in this yard last spring, and I dealt with that by eliminating the queen. And one of my sons got to watch that happen, and he was kind of shocked by it, I think, but you know, that's just the way that works. And this screen that I put on here, I did this because years ago, when I was much earlier in my beekeeping, I would have some drone laying issues, and I found out that some folks had success in combining the colonies with a single screen, and I tried it and it worked very well. Make sure the queen's not on the side. I don't see her. I'm just going to shake these girls into this box, and then I'm going to close this one up with the sugar on the top, and I'm going to put a bucket of sugar water on there because that will help them let's see, that will help them to not fight so much if they have a bucket of sugar water to kind of calm their spirits. So you can see this bottom board here. We're gonna have bees. This was a bottom board we replaced last week, and I'm gonna just stand that back here, and then we'll take this bottom board, which needed to be replaced as well, and I'm gonna set this bottom board because it smells like them, but I'm gonna put them at that entrance, and that'll help all these girls go that way. All right, so that's that. Notice that over here I put a bucket, and I have a hole in almost all my lids that I drilled in there, and then I bought these caps off of Amazon, the GN50 cap, and I just put it under the handle like that, and it usually stays there. And so I will take their brick and I will put it on top of the bucket, and like so, and hopefully I come back in 2 weeks and they've kind of acclimated and everything's going well. And I think the one other thing I can do here to help them, I didn't give them an upper entrance per se, but they are not locked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a shim between the box and the inner cover there. You go to the hardware store, you can find some plastic shims, just like they're 6 inches long, and they go tapered from nothing to about 1/4, 3/8 of an inch. And they sell them in big packs. Anyway, I like those because they're plastic, and they're for a situation like that. I could get a stick, but that works just fine. So anyway, there's that. And now I'm going to just go around and feed everybody. I hope you learned something.